Hello, it's Ruth from Nortal. I'm a specialist FND therapist, and I'm here today to talk to you about balance and FND. A lot of people with FND experience balance difficulties, and today I'm going to show you some exercises that can help improve your balance if you have FND. Our balance system is made up of three mechanisms: how our brain talks to our eyes, how our brain talks to our ears, and how our brain talks to our feet. Normally, we rely more on the information from our feet and our ears than our eyes, but in FND that can often go wrong and our brains become overly reliant on our eyes. So today I'm going to show you some basic core balance exercises that can help remind your brain to use your other balance systems and get you more comfortable relying less on your vision. I'm going to demonstrate these exercises using the back of a chair, but they are designed to be done in the comfort of your own home. Do them where you feel comfortable and where you feel safe. Kitchen worktops are really handy, the back of chairs are really handy, or breakfast bars, somewhere where you've got a little bit of support should you need it. If you're trying to improve your balance, then doing these exercises as often as you can make a difference. So let's begin. I want you to get yourself into a comfortable and safe position. I'm going to be using the back of the chair to hold on, but go with what works for you. And I want you to bring your feet at hip width apart. And you can either stand to hold on like this. I'm going to face forward or move around so that you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So we're going to start with some toe rises. So I want you to come up onto your tiptoes and then come back down. And this is helping your brain be reminded to talk to all the little muscles in your feet and just building a little bit of strength in your feet. So we're just going to go up and down on our tiptoes. Try and keep your back nice and straight. Like this. Up and down. You can choose to hold on to the back of a chair for support, or if you want more of a challenge, you can pop your hands down by your side. Just go with what feels right for you and your body, and that may vary from day to day or hour to hour. Just listen to what's right for you. So up and down on your toes. Well done. And then come back into stand. And then we're going to switch into our heels. So what I want you to do is to hold on to something this time, because this one is a little bit more challenge. And we're going to lift our toes off the floor and place them back down. Just lifting our toes up and down. Still working those messages between the brain and the feet. Strengthening all those pathways and reminding the brain to use those feet muscles. Well done. Good job. And come back to centre. And then what I want you to do is we're going to work all the little tiny muscles in our feet. So I want you to scrunch your toes all up together and pull them in. Some people like to have a tea towel or something on the floor so that they can see the scrunching action happen. Go with what works for you. So we're just going to scrunch those toes together. You can choose to hold on or not to hold on. Or just hover above the chair if you want a little bit of support. Whatever you're doing this. Just scrunching all those toes in. Really waking them up. Well done. Feet should still be at hip width apart. You don't have to do them for as long as I am. I'm just showing you a little bit of a balance routine. Well done. And stop there. I'm going to come into some unusual movement section. This is really helpful for FND because our FND brain often predicts that the movement that we're going to be doing, it will predict it in the wrong way and really focus on that movement, and then it often goes wrong. So we're going to do some unusual movements that work our balance systems, which in part of FND rehab is that we use these techniques to try and access more automatic pathways so that the brain doesn't predict them in the wrong way. So you can do this along anywhere where you've got a little bit of support. So a kitchen worktop or a dining room table or a sideboard or a breakfast bar, somewhere that you've got somewhere that you can hover your hands above or just give you a little bit of support if you need to. So we're just going to start by doing some sideways movements. So we're going to be going to sidestepping to the left and then back to the right. I'm just going to be doing a few of these. Just from side to side. Well done. As I say, this is helping the brain access movement in a different way, which often allows the brain to go into more of that automatic pathway rather than the incorrect focused pathway. Often is the mechanism that goes wrong within FND. Well done, just a couple more. And make this your last set. Well done, and then come back into standing. Good job. Now we're going to do another unusual movement to try and access that automatic pathway. And we're going to do a figure of 8 walking. So I want you to imagine that there's a giant number 8 on the floor, and we're going to walk around that number 8, doing a few twists and turns as we go. So we'll start in one direction, turn around, back to the centre, and again. Again, be ideal if you could use this along your dining room table or your kitchen worktop, sideboard, somewhere where you've got something that you can have a little bit of support with. I'm just going to keep tracing around our figure of 8. Accessing those unusual movements for FND. Lots of twists and turns. Well done. Make this your last 8. And then come back to the centre. Good job. Well done. We're going to come into another one of our unusual movements now. So this time, what we're going to do is we're going to stand with one foot directly in front of the other. So this time, what we're going to do is we're going to stand with one foot directly in front of the other. I'll just turn to the side so you can see that in a different way. And we're just going to stand there. So we're reducing our base of support, making our brain use some of our other balance systems. And we're just going to stand here for a moment. And you should feel that your feet are wobbling a little bit. You should feel that there's a little bit of a sway. That's really normal. That's your brain figuring out where you are and talking to your feet muscles and your ear connections. Well done. And then I want you to take the foot that you've got further forward and place it behind the other one. Well done. Again, ideally, you'd have your countertop there. All of these exercises you need to be doing in a safe way. Well done. And then if that feels comfortable, I want you to alternate one foot in front and one foot behind. So using one leg, just move it in front and then move it behind. And then come back to centre and then swap feet over. So we're going to do exactly the same with the other foot. Well done. And then come back to centre. And then this time what we're going to do is we're going to do heel-toe walk. So we're going to walk with our feet one foot in front of the other, as close as we can, a bit like you're on a tightrope, forwards. and then backwards. Again, this needs to be at a breakfast bar or kitchen worktop or dining table so that you've got that support there. This is a really hard one, very wobbly. So I just want you to go forwards and backwards, this heel toe walking. If you need to put your feet a little bit further apart to give you a bit more support, that's okay. As you practice, each time you come back, you'll get better. And gradually, you'll be able to reduce that gap so that you are heel toe. Well done. Make this your last one. When you're ready, come back to centre. The next one we're going to do is called clock tapping. So what we're going to do is imagine that there is an analog clock around us, and we're going to start with our right leg, and we're going to tap our toes to 12 o'clock, then 1 o'clock, then 2 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then come back to centre. And then we're going to finish with the other foot. So 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then come back to centre and repeat with the other leg. So we're just working on our different balance systems here, getting the brain used to moving the body in different ways through different movement planes and using all three of our balance systems. Well done. And when you finish that clock, come back to centre. Then we're going to end our balance session today with a core exercise for FND. What I want you to do is to stand with your feet at hip width apart, hands hovering over your chair or your kitchen worktop, wherever you're hovering. And we're going to close our eyes. As I mentioned at the beginning, with FND, we can become overly reliant on our vision for our balance. So this one is quite challenging for some people. What we're going to be doing is taking our vision out of the equation so that our brain has to use our ears and our feet. And to do that, it talks to our feet and our ears, so we get a little bit of a wobble. It's called a postural sway. We get a little bit of movement. That's really normal. That's really safe, but it can feel a little bit nerve-wracking the first time you do it. But if you do this frequently throughout the day while you're waiting for the kettle to boil or while you're just stood waiting for something for a moment, then your brain starts to get used to using your other balance systems, and it can really help people who have got balance difficulties with FND. So standing with your feet hip width apart, I just want you to close your eyes and just notice how that feels. Notice if your body has a little bit of a sway. It might look a little bit like this. I'm going to exaggerate mine a little bit. That's just your body figuring out where you are. It's okay. You're safe because you're in your safe place, balancing, and you can catch yourself if you need to. Just stay here for a moment. Ideally, it would be great to get up to about 30 seconds feeling comfortable, but go with what works for you. Might be that you need to start off a bit smaller. Once you've cracked that, try and stand with your feet together and your eyes closed. And just notice your postural sway. Notice how your body feels. Again, the first time you do this, it will be quite challenging. You might need to start off with just a couple of seconds. Gradually try and build yourself up to about 30. Well done. When you're ready, come back to hip width apart. And I want you to just take a moment to thank yourself for coming to today's practice, for working hard on your body, for connecting your brain and your body. It's not always easy to do some self-help, so well done. And to end, we're just going to do some regulation breaths for our nervous system. So we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. In through our nose and out through our mouth. Keep going for a moment, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Nice and slow and steady. When you've been doing exercises that can be a little bit challenging or a little bit unusual for the brain as part of your rehab, it's always good to end with some regulation breaths, just to remind your brain that you are safe, everything is okay, and center everything back, regulate your nervous system. I hope that's been helpful. Follow us on the Nortal YouTube or social media pages for more tips on self-management with FND. See you next time. Bye-bye.